20 cringe-worthy mistakes Americans always make when traveling to Britain. Americans have gained somewhat of a reputation for being a bit too lax when it comes to traveling overseas. Sure, it's easy to assume that the rest of the world thinks, acts, and even talks like those in the red, white, and blue, though in some countries this couldn't be farther from the truth. Even in a place as America-friendly as Britain, these seemingly innocent faux pas can turn a pleasant trip across the pond into a nightmare in a heartbeat. Number 1. Watch your words. While the US and Britain basically share the same language, it's important to understand that certain American slang terms mean something much different overseas. For example, when someone doesn't show up to a planned hangout in America, we say we've been blown off. In Britain, the same term means to break wind. Number 2. Money matters. While England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland all use the pound as their form of currency, not all pounds are the same. Specifically, Northern Ireland and Scotland both use alternative pound notes that will get you some pretty odd looks if you try to use them in England or Wales. Number 3. Don't touch the guards. It may seem like innocent fun to try and provoke a member of the Queen's Guard, and for the most part they'll tolerate a little light-hearted teasing. Touch one of those soldiers, however, and they have the right to draw their weapon on you. Yikes! Number 4. Be generous. In the US, we're obsessed with getting our own tabs. Even if someone pays for you, it's common to get them right back on Venmo or with cash. In England, things are a little different. You pay for the round, then your friend does the same next time. Number 5. Don't kiss. Some Europeans are big on the kiss hello. Britain, however, is not one of them. Don't even go for a hug on the first meet either. A simple handshake will do the trick. Number 6. Not soccer. If you're looking to kick a ball around with some local Brits, don't ask if they want to play soccer. It's called football. This is the case pretty much everywhere in the world, and calling the sport soccer will only out you as an American. Number 7. High taxes. Maybe skip the souvenir ducks on your next trip to Britain, especially if you're in London. The nation's capital has a whopping 20% sales tax, whereas New York City's is around 8%. Number 8. Queue up. Lines are a big part of life in Britain. From waiting to board a bus to queuing up to order food, people here respect lines way more than in America. So cutting in front of the queue is a huge no-no. Number 9. Bad teeth. Believe it or not, Brits having bad teeth is more of a stereotype than an actual fact. That's why you should never joke about someone's teeth while visiting the UK. Or really anywhere for that matter. How rude. Number 10. Authentic bites. You may have heard of fish and chips, or Britain's crazy good South Asian food, but make sure you go to an affordable, authentic restaurant to enjoy them. You might otherwise risk a crazy surcharge and a few unwanted trips to the restroom. Number 10. Don't be an accent chameleon. Another thing to not even think about making fun of is the British accent. Even if your Cockney is spot on, most Brits won't take too kindly to you making a joke of the way they speak. Number 12. More than one. England is a country, but the United Kingdom is made up of 4. England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland all comprise the UK. So make sure you know what you're referring to. Number 13. Royal error. The Queen and her family might be famous cultural figures, but locals definitely don't know her personally and probably never will. For that reason, you should never ask if a local Brit is chummy with Her Majesty. You'll just look plain dumb. Number 14. The other side. It looks more topsy-turvy than it actually is, but British roads are the opposite of American ones when it comes to the side they drive on. Even the steering wheels are on the other side of the car. Number 15. Not biscuits. If you're looking for something thick and fluffy to dip into the leftover juices on your plate, the last thing you'd want to ask for when in Britain is a biscuit. Instead of a warm, buttery bite, you'll be handed a cookie. Number 16. Weather swings. You might have already heard that London is gray, cloudy, and rainy most of the time, but did you know that 5 separate air masses meet above the United Kingdom? Any moment could turn tropical or polar, so make sure to pack for all occasions. Number 17. Personable and polite. Manners matter everywhere, but they're especially important in England. The culture here is all about being polite, so even if you aren't feeling too sunny, always be sure to respond positively if someone happens to ask how you are. Number 18. Be patient. When you're hangry, dining etiquette is typically the last thing on your mind. Yet even though snapping your fingers or waving to call your waiter over might fly in other parts of Europe, doing so in Britain is the quickest way to wind up with spit in your food. Number 19. Half metric. The Brits are half and half when it comes to the metric system, so don't be fooled when you spot road distances that reads in miles or pub menus that serve pints. Everything else in Britain is measured in metric, and their imperial pint is actually bigger than ours. Number 20. Talking to strangers. If you're from New York City, this one might not be that much of a surprise. Don't talk to strangers. It's not necessarily that they'll be rude, it's just taboo and far from the norm in Britain.